All right, what's up, bros? We are back with another recap. So today we are finishing up a pretty decent day today. So up 343 bucks today in about 30 minutes. So pretty good as far as the amount of time and effort, or amount of time putting into this. I wouldn't say effort. I'm always busting my butt every single day in my studies after the market closes, but with the amount of time traded today, about 30 minutes. So I placed my first trade around at 9:30 at the market open. My last trade was 9:59, so about 30 minutes of trading. Pulled out $343, about 350 bucks. So pretty decent. Definitely happy with the performance that I had today with CING and the other stock FWBI, because those stocks they had some FWBI was just a straight backside right out the open, but we had a couple nice dips here right before we had the halt down, which I was able to make like about 150 on, or 200 bucks. I wish it gave more opportunity, but I tried buying the dips down in this area, but it was just so heavy that they just never really popped back up. And I was actually taking a couple paper cuts. Maybe I think I tried a couple down here, made a little bit, made the losses back, and then moved over to CING. I was able to get green on CING, but neither of those stocks really made massive moves. So be able to pull out 350 bucks on sort of a slow kind of weak open, it's definitely pretty decent. CING is absolutely ripping now. Now that the market is closed, I kind of just been monitoring this thing since it was stuck in this range here underneath the high. Once we broke out, man, this thing ripped from $5 since I was looking at it, or since the close, about $4 all the way up to 15 bucks a share. This is great. This is great to see. I think tomorrow we could definitely see some more momentum. Maybe not in CING, but maybe we see some other movement in other stocks that are that have news or that are popping up and gapping up on the day. Hopefully we can see something, because this is another 250% move. And now on the day, CING is up over 500%. So on the day, it was up 571% from the previous close to today's high. So very nice to see. I wish, something like this could happen like here. If we got something like that here, that like today could have been a home run day. Today could have been like the biggest day ever. But it is what it is. You can't really control the market outcome. It's all about being in the right moment at the right time and being able to capture the move. But you can't, I can't control the results of any sort of breakout trade or a dip buy. I can't control if the dip is going to bounce or if the breakout's going to break out and go another 50%. I can't control that, but what I can do is be there in the right moment. So when that does happen, I'll be taking some nice profits. And also it's important as well to minimize those risks as well. So it is what it is with CING. I wasn't about to open up my broker or my trading montage on Dash Trader and start trading this thing. I wasn't about to do that because I don't really trade pre-market or after hours too much. And even after hours, it can get really sketchy because the volume can really fade quick. And yeah, I think it's just a lot harder for me to manage my risk with my sort of trading style. So I like to keep it during market open hours. And, it definitely it's going to cause me to miss some moves. But in the end, if I do focus on the market open, I know that in the end I will, be profitable at my best rates, because pre-market and after hours, my profitability factor is much, much lower. But yeah, today, CING, we can take a look at some of these trades here today. So FWBI, this one here at the open. So this one, testing my one share, making sure we get the fills right. So I did add this from Dash Trader. This is from Dash Trader. just to show that I'm actually in the trade, because if I just had Thinkorswim, it kind of throws me off because like I don't know if my order went through yet. A lot of times there is a lag on the Thinkorswim side, but the lag, it actually still fills you at the moment that you buy. So I made sure that I changed that to the Dash Trader kind of execution window to make sure that I'm in the stock, just so it keeps me more connected with the market. Because when I see a lag, it's hard for me to get connected to the market and manage my risk, and also take advantage of opportunities. So I'm going to keep that up, and it's definitely it's definitely helped me today. Just making sure that I know that I'm being filled, and I know that I'm getting out at the right price, even if there is lag on the TOS side. As long as I'm getting filled when I hit buy, it's all that matters. So that's very important for me. And I also have the flatten button up here, and the flatten button, I don't know if you guys can even see this. Yeah, you can. So the flatten button is like my absolute, that is my my emergency switch button. So let's say like if in any case I'm in a stock and then all of a sudden Dash Trader just disconnects from Thinkorswim, I can just click here and click flatten, since this is part of Thinkorswim, and that'll completely get me out of the trade because I'm sending that order through Thinkorswim. I'm not sending it through Dash. So I've heard stories of the Dash Trader just completely disconnecting. I think it's happened to me once or twice, disconnecting from Thinkorswim. And if you're stuck in a trade, you're going to have to actually pull up your Thinkorswim active trader, or your app, your mobile app, or the website to actually exit the trade. So the fastest way for me to do it is that if that ever happens and I'm stuck in a trade, I can just click that flatten button. So that's why I have that there. And then I also have a window here, which shows me on Thinkorswim if I'm in the trade. So as well, if for some reason Dash disconnects and I don't even know if I'm even in a trade, I can always look there and check if I'm still in a trade. So there's all these like little precautions that you can take just to kind of minimize those risks of technical issues or something out of your control. Because stuff does happen. It's definitely happened to me. I've had Thinkorswim shut down on me a couple times. I've had Dash Traders shut down on me a couple times. It disconnects sometimes. Sometimes the Wi-Fi goes out. There's so many things that can happen that are sort of out of in your control, but you can't, if you're not prepared for it, it could really ruin your day. So it's very important to kind of keep those safety measures to avoid any of those situations that you could actually prevent, such as using some of these fail safety mechanisms, I guess you could say, like the flatten button, as well as keeping up both Dash Trader and Thinkorswim positions. So anyways, let's get back into the FWBI. So moving a push higher, I was thinking that this was definitely going to get some profit taking. I wasn't expecting a huge dump, but at least some profit taking since it's up 250%. So waiting for sort of a pullback here, still moving higher. I'm not quite chasing it into the high, and I'm waiting for a pullback. So we get this pullback from 430 down to the open price, and it does seem to hesitate around the open price. So I do jump in quick 500 shares at 50 and out at 61, so a quick $50 there. And here we come back to testing the open price. So it's either this candle is going to flip red or we're going to hold and we're going to push higher. So as we're just getting that hesitation, the volume is slowing down right on the open price, and we can't quite flip red. It's not going to be a panic dip. I'm looking for another push higher to kind of reclaim some of this candle. So I'm in at 24. And I'm selling at 40, so that's another about $70 or so, $75. Could have held it a little bit longer, but that's it. That's okay. It's all about managing the risk, especially if something like this is up 250% and it's at the open, so it's very, very volatile. I think that was like the only other trade that I had. Yeah, and then I moved over to CING, and this thing absolutely ripped. This one, I had some feelers on it, and then we just ripped to the high. And that was a nice breakout trade from 30 up to 51. So a 20-cent trade, pretty decent, but I only had 200 shares. I only had 200 shares on that. It really needed to be 1,000 or 2,000 shares, because that was probably the best trade that we had on this. Now here I'm waiting for a pullback. So on CING, getting some good volume coming in, which is great. Holding high. So I'm just being patient for that entry. I don't want to jump the gun. Don't want to get in too high in case we pull back. So now we're coming up to a psychological resistance point at $5. So I'm expecting some sort of pullback here, especially since it's extended coming into that level. We just literally ran from 380 up to $5. So I do that quick pullback. This is what we call a micro pullback. It's within the same candle. So there's opportunity even within the same candle, buying and selling within the same candle. So we're pulling back, and I'm thinking this is now we're kind of like on a extended micro pullback, which is, it gets so complex, but this right here, that pullback was a extended micro pullback. When it pulls back 30 cents in a frontside move, and it pulls back 30 cents on a $4 stock in just 1 second or 2 seconds, you're going to still get that rubber band effect a lot of the times, especially if it's bullish or on a frontside move, high volume coming in. This is an opportunity that bulls sitting on the sideline are going to want to buy back in, especially looking at the higher day psychological break of $5. And I think the reason why we actually started pulling back right below that $5 level was just because of the psychological level of the whole dollar rather than the actual stock being bearish. So that's also something you need to keep in mind, because a lot of times you'll see that pullback. It'll top out exactly at the whole dollar, pull back, and then rip through. And that's, not because the stock is bearish at that point, but because it's just a psychological resistance level. So that was a quick pullback. Yeah, like we said, 70 to 78. So quick pullback. And now this is like a sort of a 1 minute pullback. So in at 66, out at 68. I didn't hold that long enough. Back in at 75, back out at 71. Kind of botched that there. And then again here, I thought we were going to rip through the high really strong, but I sold before the breakout there. I wasn't as patient there, so I botched that a little bit. Yeah, I really botched that one. So I should have been patient more on the lows here. Even if I sold underneath $5, that was fine. But yeah, I kind of botched that. It hesitated for a second, so I sold break even down there in 60 and 68 because I thought, because of the hesitation, that we didn't get that immediate resolution, that it actually had to come lower. And a lot of times it does come lower when you do get that hesitation, but when you get the hesitation from when you don't get the immediate resolution, a lot of times that means that's going to come down a couple cents lower. And with the way that I trade is, I don't want to be holding, if I know that if I have an inkling that the stock's just going to go lower even a couple cents, I don't want to be holding lower 10 cents, 3 cents or 5 cents. Because why would I hold a stock lower 3 or 5 cents when I could be buying at that point lower and have a lower risk entry? So that's kind of how my strategy has started to evolve, is just really minimizing the downside risk, which, it does also, the downside to that is this situation, selling break even before the pop. But we did break out of 5, and now I'm looking here for another pullback. So it looks like we're rejecting those 5 levels. So looking for another kind of extended pullback. I guess you could say 480 when I came down here is decent. Maybe right here. Yeah, that was a nice maybe 5 or 6 cents right there you could have got. I think I had a trade here. What was this trade? Oh, this trade here. So I was looking for, no, it's not that trade. Here I'm looking for some sort of test again of the lows. So boom, right there, I want to be in. Got in there at 77, out at 84, so that's a quick 8 cents there. It could still come lower though. So here we come. It could still come lower. Sometimes I like when the pullback falls below their previous candle, because then you kind of get that washout effect where it kind of flashes down, and you can get that there's a really volatile snap back up. So like it'll maybe flash down to like 4.5, 4.49, and then you'll get a flash. Everyone buying on that panic dip, and you get a flash maybe back up to 4.70, and that's like a 30 cents. It'd be like a 25, 30 cent trade. So sometimes I do like, those are my favorite dips actually. Those are my favorite dips. These ones is a little bit harder to kind of time because you don't know if it can still, still has room to come down lower is what I mean. Here we come, here we come. See, I was waiting for that flash down below this previous candle. That's why, but that was a good dip as well. That was another 10 cents from 4.70 back up to 4.80. I'm waiting for that flash down. I'm waiting, but we don't get it. I don't think we get it. So I got back in there at 70 and out at 79. That was lucky. Then I FOMO in the high here. This is a bad trade. Yep, bad trade. So this is me kind of FOMOing into the high. I was like, all right, this is moving. We might just start ripping. And I FOMO literally top ticked. Literally top ticked. But small share size, only 200 shares. But yeah, it is what it is. I thought it looked strong. You know, had a nice full body candle from the lows all the way back up to the highs within a few seconds. I thought we were just going to rip. But we pull back, take a nice 13-cent loss on that one. So that was about a $25 loss. Now we flash back down. Whenever I see something like this, I'm like, all right, longs are definitely in a panic now. When you see something like this, you know, anyone who's literally above this price at 472 or this previous support is going to be panicking out. And this is where you'll get that flash. So we got a nice flash down to 55. I didn't get in till 65 somehow. And I sold at 61, so that was a completely botched trade. This is where this stock is so jumpy. The stock is just so jumpy. Very hard to trade. So got back in at 62, out at 71 or 77. That was a really good trade, actually. That was a 15-cent trade. That was a 15-cent trade. Small share size, but not bad. There's 63 to 67, another 4 cents. It's a nice solid scalp. The stock is so jumpy that like even if you get your entry and as soon as you hit buy, it's already, you're getting filled high. This is a great dip there. Great dip. 56 out at 55. So break even. I botched that one, but that would have been a great trade there off the 9 EMA at 55. And now we're back up to 475. So that would have been a nice 20-cent trade there. So that was probably one of the best opportunities. You know, volume is still high, which is great. Coming into the 9 EMA, and volume is now low into a support level, which is great. Like the red volume is coming in low as it's breaking the lows, which is good to see. And you just want to risk, you know, something like this. You want to risk the 9 EMA. You just want to risk break of 450, 445. Very tight risk. And you want to look for that kind of rubber band effect back up to 470, 480. And yeah, I think this was probably one of the best trades, one of the best opportunities of the day. I didn't trade it well, but definitely a great opportunity. I think I had a decent trade down in here as well. This is all kind of chop city here. Chop city, chop city. Yeah, I mean, this trade was okay. It was on super small share size. I was just like, this stock is a piece of junk now. It's just so jumpy. I was in like 100 shares or 200 shares off the low. Let's see here. Yeah, so we break low and 9 EMA support. So I buy there at 90 or no, what is that, 61. and then kind of scaling out into this breakout, but it's just so jumpy up here. I can't get filled in the 90s, and it just flashes back down, and I'm kind of losing on some profits there. But then from there, that was it. I tried buying the dip here on FWBI off the low, kind of having this support level here in the previous pre-market high. But I mean, we do bounce okay, but it does not hold up. I got a trade there from what, 09 to 9 to, let's see here. So I get what, 150 shares at 10.15, add another 50 shares at 10.09, so I'm in 100 shares, and I take a quick, 10-15 cents. But nothing really big on FWBI after that halt down. Like at this point, it's already so far off the high. I'm not really looking at it anymore. And that was it for the day. And we did have ROI, but I couldn't trade that on Thinkorswim. I was getting an error, so I guess you couldn't trade that one. And that was the day. But CING is ripped right back up, all the way up to 15, which is great. So, maybe we'll be able to trade this a little bit tomorrow if it does hold up high on the day for tomorrow. And then also maybe some of this momentum can shift over into another fresh stock tomorrow as well. So that's also possible. So definitely going to get my sleep and relax, study a little bit, and be ready for tomorrow. Right now would be a great time to go over the disclaimer. So all information is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a licensed professional. I don't have any licenses. And all information should not be considered as legitimate tax, legal, or investment advice. I don't have any authority over your own decisions, so you are responsible for buying or selling any stocks or assets. So day trading is risky. Studies show that most people do lose money. My results are not typical, and there's no guarantee that you will have similar results by watching these videos or my content. And also, important, be very wary of scammers and impersonators. There have been reports of people using fake Triad trading accounts trying to scam people for money, so be careful with that. I will never ask for money or personal information. And some ways you can check is by checking the member since date, checking the username, and making sure sometimes the picture on the profile does not match or it's off center from what I have in my Discord. So those are things to keep an eye out. So be careful with that. And with that, hope you guys hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're a new viewer. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the pre-market pump at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right, talk to you guys later. Peace.